Again, my name's Aaron Marshall. Have a company called Over. Started it 4 years ago, and the idea wasn't to start a company. It was to create a platform so that we could run really fast experiments. And so we did a lot of experiments, failed with a lot of different products. But in the midst of all of our pivoting and testing, we discovered that, hey, there wasn't really a great solution to put text on photos from a mobile device. So that's when Over was born. And so I went to my wife and I said, sweetheart, the next 3 months of my life is going to be insane. Are you okay with this? And she said yes, because she's awesome. And we built this thing, got it launched, and in the first day we sold, first 3 days we sold $5,000 of copies. So we started with a paid version. And from that point forward, we just kept seeing more and more traction. Apple called us, wanted to feature it in the App Store, started to see bumps from that. And then I went around and met all the big investors, and not all the big, some big investors in the Valley, and sort of pitched them, here's this idea of what I'm doing, and I'll give you more of that pitch here in a second. And nobody was really, didn't know where to put us. And so then I went back to where I was staying, which at that time was Louisville, Kentucky, pitched a bunch of angel investors, and not a single person would give me a dime. In spite of the traction we had, because isn't that what they want? Traction. Or traction, traction, traction. They always talk about that. What have you done? What money have you made? And so I went to my wife, my angel investor again, and we put in the last 30 grand that we had saved for a house. And that was November, or actually, it was in November the month right before that, we launched the new app in November, and we had 7,000 downloads in October, and then 468,000 downloads in October, or in November. And then from that point forward, we have now grown with 2 engineers to 8 million downloads, $1.5 million in revenue, and we found this market we call the mobile creative. And these are people who love making things on their mobile phones. Here's some examples of things they've made. This is just one of thousands of things that come through our feeds every day. They're using this as a true desktop replacement for Adobe. They would prefer to make these things on their phones. They go way out of their way to switch between multiple apps, ours being one of those, to create this beautiful content. And so what we're trying to create now and moving forward is Adobe for mobile and Etsy for digital goods. Adobe for mobile in the sense that what they did for the desktop, we think we can do that for mobile. They simply don't have the DNA to do it for mobile. They've tried, and by their own admission, they know they're not great at it. Etsy for digital goods, we built a marketplace into the app right before we had a big influx of users, and this is to sell additional content within the app. And we've learned that everybody wants to publish their content all over the place. So Nike, Lululemon, American Eagle, all these companies call us to try to publish content into Over for their audience to use. And so that's a huge marketplace play that we're actually moving towards. So we're raising $1 million. And the reason we're doing this is to make great hires. What we're creating isn't about breadth, it's about depth. It's about creating interesting technologies that allow people to be super creative on their mobile phones. And it's not easy. Mobile, you can't just throw all the features into one app. It has to be, you have to understand the context of the person and where they're creating, and that is everywhere. And so if I were to erase Over and we were not to have any success at all with that, or Apple were to stop paying us tomorrow, or our Android version that we're about to release completely fails, we would still come back to these 5 things. And it's purpose, people. We focus on purpose and people. And process, product, and profit flow from that. We're adaptable to anything that will come our way. And what we're planning to do, and where we're going in the future, is I would like to have somebody within 2 years to include Over on their resume. That it's a tool that they use professionally, daily. And I would like people to start including it on their resumes. And so we want to create an industrial strength mobile creative tool and a whole suite of mobile creative tools. Thank you.
Thank you. It's interesting that you live in Cape Town because you moved from the States to come to South Africa. Can you just kind of elaborate? Because from first glance, it seemed like it would make more sense to do something like this in Silicon Valley.
So my wife and I moved to Cape Town in 2009, or just visited there for 7 months. And while I was there, I was just blown away by the creativity and just how mobile-centric everybody was. And so I was actually inspired there to start this business. And we went back to the States to use the resources that we had there to begin this thing. And then our goal was always to move back to Cape Town, where we believe that is the ultimate mobile creative city. And oceans, mountains, culinary wine, coffee, music, art. Kid-friendly, and you can get oceanfront property for what you'd pay for a shoebox in San Francisco.
And in terms of market, where will you go first?
Well, what do you mean by market when you say that? in terms of market? Where would you
Well,
go
I mean,
first?
going out from Cape Town, you will probably go back to US in terms of market, or maybe Asia. Or
Yeah, I think globally the mobile creator market is going to be bigger than in the US. I see people, it's not mobile first, it's mobile only. And so I'm definitely angling for that. I'm seeing that's where we are. Our big market right now is definitely in the States. People buy apps like crazy there. But I definitely want to focus on the rest of the world. We haven't localized any of our apps, so none of it is in any other language except for Latin-based languages. And so we're working on localization now, building an Android version. So right now we're busy doing like just basic expansion stuff, internationalizing things. So that's the first step. And then the next step, which we have going behind the scenes, is building deeper tech that lets people be more creative.
Can you elaborate a little bit better about the business model?
Yeah, so Over is $1.99. There's a free version of Over called Overgram that lets people kind of try it out. And then inside of Over, there's additional in-app purchases that let you unlock more content. And then we're going to be, one of the things we'll be spending the money on is experimenting with several new business models we have a pretty good chance of making work, and move away from just selling apps to selling other things as well.
We have a couple minutes more, so any other questions from the panel, or even perhaps someone in the audience? Maybe one question, if there's anything. We have the time. Anyone? Nope. Yeah, we have one.
More content.
That's a great question. I actually want to, in the future, do both, where I would allow people to create plugins that go into our app. So it's like we can have an app, a developer marketplace of things that you could add to, plugins and whatnot. But right now, our marketplace looks like fonts and artwork that people make that you can use on your photos. So we go out and right now we select the world famous illustrators to design special graphics and elements that you can use to create something really quick. So that's the marketplace as it sits right now, is just famous artists that have contributed to us. Make sense?
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Ed.
it. Thanks.
Makes sense.